All right. So, welcome to our first call of October and the first call we've had in the evening in a while, a year, at least a year. So, you guys gave us some feedback that you'd like some different options timing wise, and so this is what we're doing. And I am so excited because we have a special guest this evening, Jordan Roddenberry. Jordan and I actually met a long time ago. She used to live in Arkansas. I think you were like maybe a senior gold or ruby at the time.
Yes.
And she was hosting an opportunity event in Arkansas. And that was the first opportunity that I got to meet her. And at the time, I was like, this girl is going to be a diamond in no time. And sure enough. So Jordan is also a part of our advisory board, which is a very, very small group of individuals, six or eight, I think. And she was just recently starting her term on the advisory board, which is a huge honor, a huge responsibility. And she's a perfect choice for that. So she shared on stage in Maui. And the whole time I was like, this is so good, this is so good, this is so good. And I was thinking about just trying to kind of regurgitate it on a call. But then I was like, why would I do that when we could just have Jordan share it? So I had asked her if she wouldn't mind just kind of sharing along those lines and then anything else, Jordan, that you want to add to that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's hilarious that Erin is not going to be able to hear anything that we're saying over the next however long. She's going to be like sitting there and nodding. So maybe her computer will just like magically start working over there, and she'll be able to hear us. But I have a really quick question for you guys. I actually love that this group is a little bit smaller because I can get more intimate with y'all. So I want to know from you guys. Who here has is going for the the Rising Leaders Retreat cruise? If you are, raise your hand. If you are going for it, okay, okay, all right. So if you are, that is awesome. I want you to go right now. How many credits do you have on paper? How many credits do you have? Do you know? If not, go find out. They have not been doubled yet. They probably will be tonight or tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But I want you got to know where you are in order to get where you want to go. I want to tell y'all a really quick story that was not part of my speech in Hawaii. Also, y'all are getting this is very normal, Jordan. Okay, I did not dress up for you. I'm really glad y'all didn't dress up for me because I don't do that. I actually don't like wearing dresses or earrings or any of those things. Give me some my chacos and ponytail and I'm happy. I remember I was actually in my very first Emerald Extravaganza. I was so excited, and I was on a plane with Robin Sullivan, and she was sitting right beside me, and I knew exactly who she was. She had no idea who I was, and I was like fangirling, like sweating, all the things. And I remember sitting by her, and we got to talking eventually, and she goes, "Hey, why are you here?" And I was like, oh, this question. I hate this question. This is the dumbest question. Why are you asking me this? Like, this is dumb. I was like, well, I'm here because I want to do this and I want to do this. And I named off all this stuff. And she was like, no, 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 no. Why are you here? And I was like, oh, and y'all, I'm not a crier. I am not a feeler. I repel all of it. And I just started crying. And, the first thing that came to mind was like a story. My dad was really sick at the time. And I was thinking of my dad and the opportunities that if I'm successful here, like he's going to be so proud of me. He gets to watch me do that and like all this stuff. And I was like, what is happening to me? Why am I getting so in my feels? But you guys, I don't care if you've been here for 5 days or 15 years. You have got to remember why you're here. It's got to be at the forefront and it's going to change sometimes weekly. Mine changes based on my family's needs. When I had my third kid, she was born with amniotic bands. And if you've never heard of that, you probably haven't because it's extremely rare. She basically had dental floss around several different fingers and toes, and she was born missing some of her fingers and toes. And I was like, what is actually happening? But my why changed. 6 years into my business, my why changed. I now needed cash to go do all these surgeries. We now needed the finances to go. At the time we lived in Arkansas, we knew we weren't going to have surgery in Arkansas. to go get these Airbnbs, get these plane tickets, to go see all these physicians, these specialists, the specialty doctors, to go figure out where we're going to have surgery for our kid. Because your why can change on a dime. And my why changed that day. Okay. And so, why are you here? I want you to know that. That's important for you to know, because if you're just here chasing the next carrot, if you're just here just to get the next trip, that's going to be fun, but you're going to feel tired eventually. You've got to have that in the forefront. So that is something that's really important to me. And I wanted to bring that up because I talked to a friend about that today. So why are you here? Write it on paper. Go journal it. I'm actually going to read you the question I asked her really fast today, because she's brand new, like, to this business, brand new. And I am so done with brand new people coming in and not having a why, not having a vision, not duplicating. Like, I'm over it. And I'm going to start. So I've started just doing this at the very beginning. And I said, hey, when you, this is, y'all, literally, she just went senior silver. Like, she's been in this business for 2 weeks. And I said, hey, when you look down the road 3 years, what do you see for your Plexus business? And what freedoms is it going to be offering your family? And she texted me back and she goes, why am I crying? I was like, because we forget how to dream as adults. And so, anyway, I want you to have that at your forefront. Whatever you want here, it is actually possible. I'm a mom of four. I am not special, but I work hard and I read books and I do the work. And now I'm here. So, all right, I'm gonna take y'all to the strategy. Are y'all cool with that? Y'all want to know some strategy? That's my favorite part. Here's the thing, okay? Have y'all ever been to a mall and you go in and there is a sign and it's like, you are here, and it's literally like this red dot or a red star, and you're like, okay, I am here. I'm trying to go to Nordstrom, so I need to go do. Okay. Well, you need to know what your red dot is in your business. Okay. And so here are some things that I help my girls look at so they can figure out, where am I? Okay. Where am I now, so that I can hit that goal, that 3-year goal that I have? I need to know where I am so I can get there. So let me just give you some metrics to go look at in your virtual office. Okay. How many level ones do you currently have ordering? There is an actual just column in your virtual office you can go look at. You don't have to go manually count. So how many level ones, and you can go look at last month's numbers. How many do you have ordering? Um, how many level ones do you have with points? What I do is I go to my virtual office, I sort team points high to low, and then I start looking at where my points are coming from. And I look, okay, this one's a level one. I see she has this many points. This one's a level one. I see she has this many points. Okay. And if you're like, I don't have any, that's the clarity you need. That's how you know, okay, this is one that I don't have. So I need to go fill in that gap. Okay. How many active gold legs do you have working in your levels 1 and 2? I love my levels 3s and 4s, but we have the gift of a comp plan that does not limit us in building high and tight and wide. My goal is to go as wide as I possibly can to create as many gold legs in my levels 1 and 2, because we can. Why wouldn't we? Okay. So the other one, do you have leaders on your team or hobby owners? And I want to ask, maybe this is a good question for you. Are you leading in your team? Are you committed? Do you have a back door? That's a really good question to know whether or not I'm a leader or not. Do I have a back door in my business? If this doesn't work, it's fine. I have a backup plan. You always have a plan B in mind. You kind of let yourself off the hook. That might be a good sign that you own a hobby right now, which, again, you guys, it's a good red dot moment, because you realize I am here and I can up my game in this area, which makes me stronger for my team, which will grow my points, right? So all of these are just purely awareness. If you feel any level of like shame in these, I want to encourage you to wipe that away and to say, no, gives me a good starting point so that I can move forward. I can go grow. Just like your virtual office. You go in your virtual office and you log in and you're just like, oh, I have 300 people not ordering. That's depressing. We got to stop looking at all the negative stuff and start looking at, okay, where am I so I can grow? Right now, I have this many level ones ordering, this many not. So now it's Pandora's box. You literally can go use your virtual office as a toolbox to go grow. You now have 300 people you can go message. You got to change the narrative a little bit so that we can stop being victims in all of this and we can be more positive. Y'all aren't victims. Y'all, I know y'all don't do this, but maybe your teammates do this, right? All right. And then the other one, are your systems and culture being duplicated down in your team, or are you only seeing it's like you're doing the things, but like your team's not really? Or maybe you're doing your things and the girls immediately under you are doing the things, but like it's not getting duplicated down past that, right? Because the goal is for all of you to go on vacation, come back, and your team is added 50 people and you didn't have to touch any of it. Like that's the dream. And so that's kind of where I want to help you build some healthy businesses and create some awareness. Okay. So where this came from was, you guys, I have 3 level 1 senior rubies right now, and they are chomping at the bit to go emerald. I mean, do I have any, is anybody here a senior ruby? That rank is just like one of those where you're like, you're just like, you just stare at it. You just stare at the emerald name, you stare at the points, how many, it like consumes you. At least it did for me. And so I have 3 girls, and what I found was all 3 were very different. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about each bucket, the strategy that I encourage them to go implement. And I want you to look at 2 things. One, what bucket do you fit in? And maybe you can go implement some of these strategies. And 2, what your teammates that are currently working the business, what bucket did they fall in? And how can you go implement this for them? Okay. So don't just look at your teammates, look at yourself and your teammates. All right, get ready? Bucket 1 is my really consistent girl. She really is so consistent. She shows up to everything. She is an incredible leader. Like she's an actual doctor by trade. She's a doctor of physical therapy outside of Plexus. She is so smart. She is consistent. She makes all the PDFs. Like she is organized. She's in it, right? Her points are just really steady. There's no explosive growth. There's no explosive dips. It's just steady. And so I went and looked at her. Oh, I don't have all my numbers with me from this, but I remember I went and looked at her level 1's ordering, and she had, I want to say, about 20 active level 1's ordering. And I was like, well, that is great. But the average diamond has about 40 to 50 active level 1's ordering. So if you want to grow your business, you need to double that number. And she was like, okay. She goes, honestly, I have been slacking a little bit on recruiting because I've been trying to manage my team, which we all know when we start managing our team, we take our focus on adding level 1's and 2's, and therefore we are not in momentum. So I encourage her to go hard in recruiting, like hard. Um, and double her level 1's ordering. I looked at some of her girls, and they seemed to be there was no like hunger, there was no urgency. And so I encouraged her. I asked her if she was coaching her girls, if she was actually getting in there and doing like some hard questions with them, like what are their whys? What's their vision? Like really pushing them in those things. And she is like, I would rather not do the touchy feely emotional stuff. And so I was like, good. If you're resisting it, you should probably do it. So that was one thing for her. And then I also was like, how can you raise up your level 1's? Because she actually has really incredible people on her team, but I don't think they would classify themselves as a leader. And so I was like, how can you raise them up? How can you challenge them? How can you get them uncomfortable more? And she was like, yeah, I need to do that. Like, okay, let's do that. And then I asked her this question. I asked her if she was setting personal goals regularly and if her team was setting personal goals regularly. Because what I see is that the people that are setting goals are hitting goals. It's funny how that works, right? And so she said that they weren't. She was like, if they were very like small passive goals. And I was like, you need to take that gear shift and go more, heavier, harder. Like you have got to up that energy in there, and goal setting is part of that. So anyway, that was bucket number 1. That's my consistent girl. And then I have bucket number 2. It's so hard for me not to like just say their names, but I'm gonna try really hard. Bucket number 2 is my super deep girl. And if you guys, and you don't have to raise your hand, but she has 2 really strong, deep legs, like really strong. Like they will be diamonds. I love them. They're incredible. really strong legs. Okay. But she has 10 total level ones ordering. And so for me, even if she has the outside leg points, for me, she is not maximizing our comp plan. If she wants to see growth in her team, she has got to go wider. You guys, when you go to your team and you want to push for a rank up or something like that, it is so hard to do that if you only have two legs and both of them are not in momentum. In fact, it's impossible. I really don't think it's possible. If you want to go for a rank, you have two really strong legs, unless they are both in momentum at the same time, which is very unlikely. I have never had all of my legs at one time being in momentum at the same time. It's very hard to push for something like that. And I was like, so if you want the capability to push for points, you have got to go wider. You have got to have more people doing at different times and different seasons of their business being able to do. You've got to have some diversity. And so my encouragement to her is not to go, and she's actually incredible when she recruits, she duplicates. Like, I recruit you for the business, you go Ruby. Like, that's how she works. And so I don't want her to go recruit 40 people. I want her to recruit maybe 10, 15, 20 and get that number up a little bit. But anyway, yeah, get that number up, but continue to do what she does really well, which is leadership development. Um, so that was her. I got, let's see. I actually encouraged her to develop two new gold legs by December. And I'm going to give y'all the same challenge. I want y'all to go develop two new gold legs by December. If you were to write at the top of your paper, I am developing two new gold legs by December, your brain naturally will start writing down like, okay, actually, if I wanted to do that, I actually don't have anybody that could be pushing for that. So I need some new people. Okay. So now that you have your checklist just starts going, I need new people. Okay. Well, if I got them, what would I do? I need to go make a post on our team page to revisit our system. Like, so make sure the system is clear. Okay, cool. The system's clear. Now that you know what to do with them and you have the people, how would I help them go gold? Maybe I could do a gold mastermind series with them. Like, you guys, your brain just starts working when you start focusing on these things. And so I encourage her to create two new goals. And guess what? This was in September. Last month, she created two senior silver legs because what you focus on expands. And so she's already doing it, which I love. And so anyway, that's my super deep girl. I want her to go wider. I want her to maximize the comp plan, get out of management mode, stop trying to make everyone feel cozy and focus in so hard on relationships. She was doing a really good job, but you have to have a production piece too. So she was trying to learn the balance of that. All right, and then we've got our super wide girl. And I wish I like had a bio on each of you guys so I could understand more about your team dynamics. But if maybe this is you or a teammate, you've ever had somebody come in and they just like can recruit. They can recruit the socks off of this whole entire business, 10, 20, 30 a month. Like they're just rocking and rolling, right? But what happens is that girl oftentimes will be so bogged down by all the questions she's getting one-on-one, the customer care. There's a lot of people to take care of. There's the lack of systems because they're relying on natural talent, which is awesome, but that can steal a little bit of the joy and the fun out of this because that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, especially if you're not plugging them into things like team calls and team chats. You're doing all of it on your own. That is a large load to carry, my friend. And so the girl that is super wide, I had to really get in there with her and teach her some system. I actually challenged her with this. I said, you are not allowed to answer any questions at all, one-on-one or in your chats. The only thing you can do is share a third-party tool. And I don't think she liked that very much because that is hard to do. That forces us to go watch the videos first before we share them. But what that does is it forces her into personal growth. It raises her leadership lid. And also it's going to be more duplicatable for her team. And it's going to free up so much of her time. She doesn't have to explain the system. She can tag them in the system in a team page. She doesn't have to answer the question about how do you change your subscription because she already has a graphic that she can just send to them, right? And so, or she doesn't have to get on the phone, or she was even like driving to people's houses and helping them do this. And I was like, that is so much time. And so anyway, I helped her get some of her time back. by implementing systems. My goal with this girl is never to steal her thunder, right? To be in charge of her team. She's doing a really good job. Just want to help her free up some of her time and use some systems and really focus on duplicating. Okay. And this girl, a lot of times they can add, but are they creating leaders under them? She actually has 2 gold legs, which is awesome. But right now it's like, okay, how do we raise senior golds? And so that's the next level of leadership she's got to learn in order to be able to teach that. So anyway, I have do you want me to, you can nod if you want me to, Erin, because I don't have that much time and I really want to like be open for questions. Do you want me to go into the leadership part or should we just like go for questions? Or can you hear me?
Hear you. Can you guys hear me?
You are whispering, but yes,
Well, I think maybe I say we
that's
do
better.
questions.
Okay, let's go questions. Do y'all have any questions about any of that? Literally any of it? Or just any questions for me in general?
Well, I wanted to say, Jordan, that I appreciate your time and being here with us tonight and really digging in deeper on, kind of peeling back the layers on how we get momentum going and some of these tidbits of just, you know, that reminder of like what you focus on expands and looking like utilizing your back office as a tool, or virtual office, what do we call it these days?
Yeah, VO, yeah, you got it. Whatever,
Right.
whatever you
12 years
want.
later, whatever we're calling
Yeah.
that these days.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I just love you reminding us to utilize our back office as a tool because it really is. And whether you said this or not directly, just not tying emotion to the numbers because they're real, they're what they are. And once you get a reality of where you stand, then you're able to really say, okay, this is what I need to do. If I have 10 people, how do I get to 11, right? How do you eat an elephant? One little bite at a time. So I
Yeah.
just want to say thanks. I don't really have a question because I think
Yeah.
amazing and covered so much, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, it really is so much. And I will tell y'all, so I was a senior Ruby and I dropped down to senior gold points. And like at that point, I was like, that's when I kind of had to like turn this into, okay, how do I do this bit by bit? How do I rebuild bit by bit? And we've all had to rebuild at some point. You just do it a little bit easier, better, stronger, faster the next time, the next time, the next time, the next time. And so, yeah, I think that's when I started learning, okay, I just need to go get a win. How can I create a silver this week? How can I go get an ad this week? Like I need to increase this number. Like those little wins, there's only 9 ranks. And if it takes us 10 years, yeah, I don't know, do 9 times 12. That's a lot of months where we're not getting rank ups. And so for me, it's like I've got to go get those little wins, those little duplication wins, those little leadership wins. Like it's important for us to have those checklists in our mind. So anybody
For me,
else?
this was
Oh, go ahead.
so encouraging. I, I'm having the hardest time. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna type.
It's good
I'm
now.
gonna type this.
It's good. It's really not that bad. She's like, no, I'm typing. Okay. Well, if y'all don't have anything else, I will peace out. But if you do, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you.
You're very welcome. And y'all, I love that y'all are switching to nights. This is awesome. Now you need to go get 30 minutes of IPA in and get it done. And then you can go take your bubble bath.
I love
Okay.
it.
All right. Thank y'all.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.